Hi everyone, today we're going to learn about subtracting positive and negative numbers. That's our learning target for today. I can subtract positive and negative numbers. Okay, let's start off our lesson today with a little review of what we did yesterday. Let's be bankers and think about all of these as being our account, okay? So let's start off with having $3, three positive dollars. And let's then say that we owe $2. Okay, so now we have 3, but we owe 2. So, in the end, we have only $1 left in the bank account. Because this positive and this negative, they cancel each other out. And then this positive and negative cancel each other out. Our number model for this is 3 plus, remember how we did this yesterday? Negative 2. And then we looked at that and said, okay, well our positive is bigger, so we know that our answer has to be positive. So then this is going to be $1. Okay, now I've set up a positive 5, so $5 that we have, plus a negative 7. Can you figure out what the account balance would be for this one? Well, we have 5 of these that actually cancel each other out. And then we have 2 negatives left over, so $2 that we still owe. So our number model looks like this. $5 plus negative 7. And then here I'm going to say, oh, my negative is bigger. So that I know that my answer then has to be in the negative. So negative 2. What about this? What if we start off with negative 4 and then we put into the bank $2? What will we end up with an account balance of? Well, the negative is still bigger, but we did cancel out 2 of those negatives with 2 positives. So our account balance here would be negative 2. Okay, let's try something a little bit different this time. Let's say that we have a negative $5 account balance. So that means that we owe somebody $5. Okay? So that's what our account looks like. Now let's say that we take away 2 of those negatives, or maybe we pay those back to the person that we owe it to. So I'm going to take away 1, 2 of the negatives. So when I take away 2 negatives, I'm left with just 3 negatives. And that's a smaller number than what I started with. So our number model for this one, now this gets a little confusing, but we had negative 5 and we took away, so we subtracted negative 3. Oops, negative 2. And then we ended up with negative 3. Okay, let's start off our next scenario with an account balance of negative 3. Because we have $5 that we owe and $2 that we have. So our balance then is just negative 3. From there, let's see what happens if we take away 1 positive. What's our account balance now? I'll give you a second to think about that. Now our account balance is negative 4. Okay, pause the video and look at that for a minute and figure out why that happened. I kind of like to think about this situation as you owe your friend $5 and your mom gave you 2, so you're like, hey, I think I'm going to go ahead and give my friend my $2. But then, along the way, you stop and you see a soda machine and you buy a soda. So you lose that $1 that you had that you were about to give to your friend, and now you only have $1 to give to your friend. So you still owe them $4. Okay, so that's a little bit confusing. So let's try another example here. Let's start off with thinking about $7 that you owe to a friend. You have $3 in your pocket and you think, hey, I think I'll just go ahead and pay my friend the $3 that I owe him. Okay, so we're going to start off here. We have $7 that we owe, $3 that you have. So we have a balance to start of -4. Okay? Now you're walking along the street and whoopsie, you dropped $2. Now you only have $1 to give your friend. So we actually subtracted $2. At this point, we're left with $6 that we really owe. So let's fill that in as -6. Does that make sense? Because you have 7 that you owed, you have $1 because you took away the 2 that you had, and now you have -6. When I start off this number model, when I'm using these manipulatives, what I actually want to start with here, and I think this is the part that can get a little bit confusing, is what do you have all together? Okay, now let's try a different kind of example. Let's say that this is the balance that we start off with. We have -7, so $7 that you owe, and +2, $2 that you have in your pocket. Okay, so let's start off. We have an account balance then of -5. Well, let's say that you have a friend who said, you know what, don't even worry about $2 that you owed. So we're going to take away $2 that we owed, so -2. Okay, watch what happens now. Take away 1, 2 that we owed. Now we have a balance. It's still in the negatives because we still have more negative than we do positive, but not quite as many. Now we have -3. Okay, let's try another one like that. Let's say that we start off with owing somebody $9. You borrowed $9 from a friend. So we have a balance to start with -9. And let's say that we have taken away part of our debt. Let's say that we take away -5. So maybe you paid back the $5 of the 9 that you owed. So we're going to take away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what are we left with? Well, we're left with -4. That was a lot of new learning that we did today. We're going to go through this quite a bit tomorrow in class. Let's go ahead and finish with the quiz and see how well you understood. The first question is 4 minus -3. Question number 2 is -2 minus -5. And the third question is 6 minus 8. That's all for today. Have a great night.